Some things have changed. We're getting away a little bit more, some vacations. So I think we're in need of maybe some guidance.
Hello, my name is Michael Sherlock. Welcome to Secret Shopper Michael. I travel the world looking for the most amazing customer experiences. Hotels, restaurants, stores, in fact, businesses of any kind that create an exceptional experience capture my attention. Of course, those that disappoint are often all too easy to find. That's why I've made it my mission to find and highlight the best of the best. But good or bad, there's always feedback to be given and always lessons to be learned.
What does it mean to be a part of Secret Shopper Michael? Well, first I rate businesses on their experiences. And I follow my blend strategy, which is a part of my second book called Sales Mixology, Why the Most Potent Sales and Customer Experiences Follow a Recipe for Success. Let me tell you how I evaluate. My blend strategy follows the 5 letters in the word blend, so let's talk about the B. The B first is be immediately and fully present. I want to feel as a customer that you actually recognize that I'm there and you're happy to have my business. L is listen, and I don't mean just listen with your ears. Listen with your eyes. Are you watching me to ensure that I'm having a great experience? Do you recognize when I'm not? And do you care about the difference? E is for ensure that you've asked me all the right questions. If you ask me enough questions in the right way, I will tell you not only what I want to buy, when I want to buy it, and how I want to proceed. The N is for never, ever let me feel like a number. If you want me to feel special as a customer, I need to feel unique. And I need to know that you care that I walked in your door or I have patronized your business. Now, D can be a real challenge. Deliver an exceptional customer experience while being ever mindful of delivering a profitable return on investment for your company. So, where am I headed today? Tune in for this episode of Secret Shopper Michael, and let's find out together. Hey there, everybody. Michael Sherlock here, Secret Shopper Michael. I don't know how my hair is working today. Hopefully that's not going to impede my secret shopping ability. In fact, it made me wonder, at some point I might need to have a wig and sunglasses. Dun, dun, dun. I stopped on the side of the road going into Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, where I'm going to go to Cedar Hill Flowers to do a secret shop because probably you can't see this, but I will be putting it on the video. I saw a little billboard for them, and I thought this was a perfect place to stop and talk about what I'm going to do. The first time I came to this business was about 10 years ago, and I did a secret shopping experiment with them, and it was fantastic. They actually took quite a bit of what we covered, and they reached out and asked me to come back again. So about 10 years later, 9-10 years later, they are in that next stage of life where they are starting to travel more, and they are trusting their business more and more to their employees so that they can go and relax from time to time. So even though they've had some really great long-term tenured employees, the more that you hand over the reputation, the business, the security of knowing what you do versus what your employees do when you're not there to the people that work for them, the more they want to ensure that not only is the business in sound hands when they are off gallivanting about the globe, but that their team handles customers and situations the way they would. So I'm going to go in, check it out. I'm going to see what they can do with an order of centerpieces that I am going to be looking into, and we'll see how well we can tape this experiment. So look forward to seeing what we learn today. No matter what we learn, good or bad, there always will be lessons to be learned. Before I conduct a secret shopper assignment, I try to sit down with the owners of the business. I want to learn a little bit about what they think of their own business, what they're looking for, and what they want to make sure that I pay special attention to. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have my own agenda, but together we find out what's really important.
All
right. Well, Todd and Michelle, thank you so much for asking me to come back and take another look at your business. It is so fun to see you guys. How have you been since the last time I talked to you?
Michael, it's been great. It's been wonderful. It's great to see you. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to come back in. Some things have changed. We're getting away a little bit more, some vacations. So I think we're in need of maybe some guidance from you.
Absolutely. Well, and that was such a pleasure to get your guys' note. I know that I was a secret shopper in your store many, many years ago. But when I came the first time, there were a couple things that I took a look at. First of all, just, obviously I was very impressed with your business. You have a lovely store altogether, not only with what you do on the floral side, but an amazing selection of gift items. But can you kind of refresh my memory too about some of the things that after we had a chance to talk about that stuck with you guys after I took a look and gave you some of my feedback?
I know one of the things was had to do with the layout of the store. We were checking people out, the flow of the store. You made some suggestions, and that was one of the things that we've done.
And with moving the checkout spot, I mean, that makes sense because the people had to go through the whole store. Now, instead of just coming in and taking 15 steps and placing their order for flowers and leaving, since we are much more than the flowers, we have the gifts, jewelry, handbags that people will see now that they have to come to the back of the store to check out. It's very funny, and we couldn't believe you noticed. We were discussing if we were going to get rid of an employee, and you were only there maybe a half an hour and 45 minutes, and that was on your letter to us to get rid of that employee. So we found that pretty coincidental, and we did get rid of the employee.
I hope sometimes that I say it a little bit better than that, but it's funny because there's so many businesses, I can't even tell you how many people are like, the first thing you said is when you came in is that person has to go.
And that's probably how you said it.
That's probably.
It might be. You didn't sugarcoat it. and we did give her your name and address, so I hope that didn't amount to anything.
It happens. It happens. But most of the time, well, not most of the time, every single time I've ever told that to any business, the response has always been just exactly what your guys's was, and that was, we were already thinking that. We just didn't know for sure, or we hadn't taken the steps to make it happen yet. And I think that's really telling that, as a business owner, you have a gut feeling about things. And I think it's important to recognize that because many times what you're feeling is absolutely on point.
I don't know if we told you last time you were in the store. We are a third generation florist. Matter of fact, this year is our 75th anniversary. My grandfather incorporated in May of 1944. So it's 75 years that we have been in business, and we are the third generation. So we've been brought up. I've been brought up in the business my whole life. Todd's been with me since I've been 15. So he pretty much has been in it,
He's
also.
part of it.
He's been chasing me for a long time.
She finally comes, or you let her.
He let me catch up to him, yeah.
Having that kind of history in a family business, there's a different level of pride with this too.
Right, and our name is well known. People know Cedar Hill Flowers. We have people, this is really cool. We had this guy who worked for us, and he was 80 or 81, and the people were coming into our shop to order their 50th wedding anniversary flowers, and he did their wedding. The guy who was helping us out, we had him come in and do ribbons and things like that. But how cool is that? He did their original wedding.
The amazing thing was he knew their names. Yeah. It blew my mind. 50 years ago, he did their wedding and he knew their names. It's amazing. I forget sometimes.
What a testament to having a business that has stood the test of time, that has been a part of a community, and that has a reputation that you don't want marred, especially when you're getting to the point where you can start to relax and maybe take more vacations and start to kind of reap some of the benefits of all these years of hard work. It's very important to make sure that the people who are responsible for continuing and upholding your reputation have the wherewithal to do that and that are representing you the way that you want them to.
Exactly.
And you hit on a lot of good things and a lot of things that I think that we do, or at least try to do. And one of the things is knowing what your customer wants and making what they want, their vision, a reality. And especially true in specialized work. And they'll come in and they may not know exactly what they want, but it's our job to figure that out and then make that vision a reality for them. And it makes a great experience for them as long as we're following through on that. And 95% of the time we do, probably even more than that. I mean, we as a company are really good at, I think, recognizing, what the customer's looking for and to follow through on that and make it become a reality for them.
Great points. And it's such a good reminder too about, the balance of how many questions you ask to make sure that you are matching what the customer wants. On the flip side, Michelle, talking even about the cost of the roses, it's about making sure that the business also matches what needs to make sense financially. Because if you send out 500 arrangements and you've had just one more flower in there that exceeds the cost, your profits go down and the balance now is out of whack. I think that's a really great point too, because so many times I am looking towards how we educate the employee to better interact with or manage the process of the sale with the customer. But this is a really interesting point about how do you also appropriately educate the customer without offending them or frightening them or making them say, oh, well, then forget it, I don't want to. It's a dance between the dialogue, the questions, and the coming to agreement together.
And weddings are a big area for us that happens. I kid you not, these people see these arrangements on Pinterest. Oh, they come in to Todd. Oh, I love that. This is exactly what I want. And Todd's like, okay, that's going to be about $450, $500. What?
It got to the point because the advent of Pinterest and the Knot and all these brides going on all these different websites. Well, everything will be beautiful, and it'll be the colors you want, and it'll be the style you want. It may not be the exact flowers you want because of your budget. So if I know up front, it makes the whole process go so much easier. But it's a lot to do with the internet and people looking on Pinterest and the brides looking on the Knot and things like that. There's some beautiful.
But they have 10 of those.
Don't get me wrong. There's some beautiful stuff on there, absolutely stunning. But they're not taking into consideration what the prices are.
And it's not like we say. I mean, we'll say, okay, for that bouquet as pictured, it's going to be $450. And Todd will right away say, but I can do something very similar. I might not use the dahlia in it, but I'll use Lysianthus that will give you the same look, and we could get that down to like $200. You're going to have the same style. We're just not going to have a lot of the high-end, flowers. And I think people really appreciate that because they have no idea. They don't know. They see that picture and that's what they want.
But what a great opportunity when somebody comes in and says, here's the Pinterest picture that I love, to say, wonderful. Is it because of that exact picture that you're in love with that? Or do you want the look of that and flexibility to make it your own?
Yeah, right, great. Yes, that's an excellent way to put it.
Always giving us good ideas, Michael.
I also just thought about the Pinterest pages of, cupcakes that look one way on Pinterest, and when you make them, they look like a third grader made them.
Yeah, right. That would be me.
That would be me. Well, perfect. Her too. So is there anything in particular when I come in to do Secret Shopper Michael that you want me to look at? Do you want me to maybe order a floral arrangement? Do you want me to look at some of your seasonal items, gift items? What do you think is the area that you want to make sure that I take a close look at?
Ordering.
We really discussed this, but I think probably ordering arrangement and maybe going back to my point, maybe you're not exactly sure what you want, and let the customer or employee kind of guide you and see how they do with trying to come up with what what your ideas are.
And you know what I would really be interested in, Michael? I want to see what price point they give you when you tell them what you're expecting.
Well, I think that we have plenty to work from. I'm looking forward to seeing how this pulls together. So let me ask you this. I want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. So your employees have signed as a part of their employment agreement an acknowledgement that they know that at times they may be taped and that will be used for training purposes. Have you guys taken care of that in your employment agreements?
We have,
Yes, we actually have security cameras in the shop, so they know they're taped.
Perfect, because then that will make sure that everything's good on my part, because I'll want to share some of the video footage with you after and talk to you a little bit about how to use that with your employees for feedback for good, bad, and ugly that we may have.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll all be great.
I'm sure it will. And we look forward to seeing it.
What a pretty place.
Thank you. Your first visit?
Yeah.
Oh, there's lots to see.
It smells wonderful. Wow.
Something in particular I can help you with?
You know, actually, I stopped because I was just having a conversation. I'm doing a conference in November.
Okay.
And I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to have like centerpieces for some of my tables.
Okay.
But I have no idea where to start. I don't know what it might look like.
Okay.
And so I was driving by and I thought, oh, that looks like a kind of cool place.
Something you wanted to do fresh flowers on the tables, or I mean, we can do fresh. We can do silk. You can do.
So I did a conference like this in July
Okay.
in New Jersey. And the whole conference went great. I had about 200 people coming.
Mhm.
But the comments were all like, okay, it was great. It was a great conference. It was a really sterile environment. So I'm
Okay.
doing it kind of budget conscious, but in a hotel. I don't know, do you even deliver to Reading?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the DoubleTree or whatever in Reading.
Okay.
So I just started thinking, well, maybe something would liven up the center of the tables.
Sure. And are you doing like the long banquet tables, or are they at round tables?
They're all going to be at rounds. So they're
great.
working. So they're like 20 rounds or something of 10.
Okay.
And so that they'll all be people at all the tables will be interacting with each other.
Okay.
So I don't know. Right now, like the last one, they had paper and pens and dishes of candy. So
Right. Well,
and
you
water
wanna-
glasses. That
You
didn't
want to
go
keep
well.
it something low because you're working across the table, chatting across the table. So you don't want
Point.
something high that's going to obstruct a view.
That's a good point.
You can do something, I mean, I assume you're going to be kind of a fall theme, be a seasonal
Yep.
type of thing. We can do something in a low basket.
Okay.
Do arrangements in that way. We've got beautiful selection of fall pom-poms, so you can keep your cost kind of on the lower side because you're going to be looking at.
I don't know. I don't even know. See, that's like the first time I have no idea what arrangements cost or any of that. So.
Right. So you're looking. I mean, I would think what 10, 12 tables maybe. Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I think we're going to be 20 tables of 10.
Oh, 20 tables of 10. Okay. Yeah. So you're looking at something times 20.
Right.
I understand you need to work within a budget, so that's fine. We can do little vases of, I mean, you can do as simple as, this is really small, but you can do something like a mason jar with just some of the beautiful seasonal pom-poms in them. We can get in some alstroemeria, which is, it's in the lily family, but it's branched, so there's several little
lilies.
flowers.
I'm allergic to lilies.
Okay, you're allergic to the larger lilies, you'll be fine with the alstroemeria. I have a bucket of them
okay.
actually opening, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't smell them,
over
so they must be okay.
Yeah, right over here on the counter. It doesn't have a fragrance, but they open like small,
Oh, those are pretty.
so they come in, there's shades of orange, shades of yellow, burgundies, purples. We can get a really nice fall mix. You can be something in that. You can be, in the $10, $12, $15, $18 range, which then doesn't put it quite so
Yeah,
quite
our
so over
colors,
the top for
all of
for
our
budget.
promotional materials are kind of like a deep burgundy.
Oh, great.
But yeah, I guess I hadn't really thought about like what color scheme other than that. That would probably go nicely though.
Oh yeah, just a nice fall mix with the burgundy would be fine. You know, you'd be well within that. So that's something to think of, to keep in mind. If you find containers that you want to use, we will certainly fill your own containers. So if you're, you know, out at thrift shops or some yard sales and you see some cute little things, and they don't even have to be the same. You can do something different on all of the tables. They don't have to be necessarily exactly the same arrangements. We can use the same flowers in all of them, which will make it cohesive, but give it a little bit more interest. If you didn't want to do something like that, see if the hotel has, they might have some sort of centerpiece that you can use from the hotel, and then we could do something as simple as a little bit of greenery or some artificial fall leaves in it. It's actually not artificial, it's actually a preserved leaf. So it's, let me pull some up for you to see.
Sounds like pickles. Ooh, wait, I might have to look at jewelry too. All right, no, I don't be distracted. Flowers.
Okay,
Where am I?
We'll do centerpieces first, and then we'll do.
Am I coming back over here? Yes.
See, they're like this.
Let's say I said, okay, $20. I mean, can you do something, like if I brought in my own containers, can you do something for $20 each that's, I mean, what would you put in something like that?
It would be primarily like the different fall daisies and mums in that price range, or depending on the size of the container, we've got beautiful mums available in the $8 to $12 range, and then that can be, you know, if you decided to go that route.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I always say I'm very shy and introverted. I never stand out in the crowd.
I'm going eggplant next year for my birthday.
Well, you've been very helpful. Thank you. Now, of course,
you're welcome.
now I've seen jewelry.
Take your time, look around. If there's anything that you need or anything you have questions about, just let me know. Well, my name is Linda. I'm here on a very kind of part-time basis. I float in and out when they need somebody.
Okay.
If I'm not here when you come in, Todd or Michelle are the owners. They're wonderfully creative people. They will be able to certainly help you, and I can let them know what we talked about. So.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I can just call and say, Linda told me
Yes.
I can have it all.
Yeah. You can. You'll go, I don't think so.
You can have it all. There's
But
just
you
a
can
price.
try. My husband always says we also have a jewelry repair and design business, and he says if your pockets are deep enough and it's within the realm of physics, you can have whatever you want. But you have to meet those criteria.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Linda. I'll let you. I'm just going to wander if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. Hi, how are you?
My overall experience with Linda was exceptional. I tried to be a much more difficult customer, but her personality and her genuine nature just broke through every defense I had. If I had a problem, she was definitely the one who was going to help solve it. And what you don't see on the video is how much other knowledge she shared with me during my time in the store about the various product lines, from gifts to jewelry to even a very specialty line of purses. Her enthusiasm was infectious. So infectious, I walked out with a brand new necklace. One other little tidbit I think you'll all enjoy is that Todd, one of the owners, was not supposed to be there that day, and he was. You want to talk about something that's challenging, is trying to ignore somebody who wants to make you laugh.
No, I'm sorry. How are you?
Good. Sorry, I didn't know somebody else was back here. I think I heard somebody before.
It's the boss. We
Oh, is that the boss?
Yeah.
He's allowed to hide.
So this customers, and then
Then he runs away. I know people like that.
$68.89 is the total accounts.
Well, it's a very cool store.
Thank you.
Lots of fun things. And it smells good.
Well, that's not the store. I showered today.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, look at those cool pumpkins.
The glass ones, aren't they beautiful?
I need to get out of here. This was, I'm going to be in trouble enough for coming home with a new necklace.
Okay, there it is. Your receipt and your card.
Thank you.
Now, do you want a box for this now?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
okay,
please.
great. This used to be in another location, so we were a little bit more accessible. We have to change that around.
Yeah, you can make your customers be a part of the process. Could you please open up that drawer and grab a box?
It's an interactive
Exactly.
experience.
Exactly. Well, how about
You kind of feel a little bit of ownership of the whole experience. It's like,
exactly. Well, that's darling. Thank you, Linda. Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
And
Hope to see you again.
yeah, I'll give you a call
Okay.
before the end of this month.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh God, look at little piggies. Oh. No, I must leave. I must leave. I'm leaving now.
After I completed the secret shopping, I was preparing to leave the parking lot when Todd ran out, and he said, I couldn't help it. After you left, I had to tell her that she had just been secret shopped. So I took that opportunity to go back, introduce myself formally to Linda, and ask her if she would not only mind answering a few more questions, but if I could give her some feedback directly. I think you'll enjoy some of the clips from our conversation.
So, have you ever been secret shopped before?
No, I have not. I have been a secret shopper though.
So tell me, so from now that you know you have been secret shopped to knowing you've done it before, what's the experience from that standpoint?
Well, I didn't know I was being secret shopped, and I really didn't do anything that I wouldn't do on a regular basis. So it's nice to know that at least I did a good job, and I'm doing my job well, because you don't ever know. I mean, you do what you think is a good job, and you try and be as helpful as possible. And when I secret shopped, it was a little bit different situation. It was from one store kind of spying on another, should I say. So that was,
Not
a little
spying,
bit
helping to educate.
helping to right. Well, just checking out what the competition is doing and seeing if you are at least meeting the same criteria and hopefully surpassing. Just even the challenge of working with somebody who doesn't know what they want and trying to figure that out, and how much, because I've been in stores where it's just been, well, when you figure it out, let me know.
Yes. Well, and I always say that there is a difference between customer service and customer experience. So customer service is how you're treated. Customer experience is how you feel.
Right.
So you can have somebody who provides good service. They are punctual, they're prompt, they're polite, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll have an excellent experience. On the flip side, sometimes some experiences wouldn't be quote unquote normal professional service. So it's a balance, I think, of when people can let their personality shine.
Right.
Then that usually breaks down everybody's walls, and that's when it's a really unique gift.
Good.
So you want to know what I thought of what you did?
Yes.
Okay. So I rate on 5 areas. I write on, and this is what I call my blend strategy. So the first one is to be immediately and fully present. And that means that when I walk through the door, even if you're with somebody else, I want to know that you acknowledge me. I walk through the door, boom, you are right there. So the second one is the L in blend, which is listen with your ears and your eyes. Meaning, did you hear the words I said when I said I was working within a budget for my meeting and I have no idea what I'm doing? Yes, so you automatically gave me some ideas of what I might face. And one of the things I thought that was brilliant is you brought me over to the display and you showed me 2 different price points of something around $19.99, the other $34, I think. And so you immediately, with that, could ascertain whether or not I was in that range or higher or lower, and get a feel for what size I want. Also, what I loved, and this was one of the things I was curious about whether or not you'd pick up on, is when I said everybody's going to be working around the table, there's going to be a lot of interaction. And you said, well, then you don't want something too tall. You want to be able to see each other and communicate. So you were really, truly listening to everything I said, but you were also watching. And I know that you noticed when you said, well, I'm assuming you might want some fall colors because it's November. And I know I responded because you then immediately took me over and said, and like, here's some examples and here's some examples. So the E is for ensure you've asked all the right questions. And I think that you really did that. You asked a lot of poignant questions back to me. And that helped me to, if I was really shopping for this, I would be saying, all right, okay, she's helping me narrow it down. And she's asking me the questions. You never, though, asked me if I think maybe at one point in time you did say, I know you said this will help you narrow down your budget, but you could have still asked me, do you have an overall budget? And I don't know that I might have made that muddy with some of the things I was saying.
Yeah, there was, from what I gathered from what you were saying to me, was that you wanted to be respectful of a budget, but you really didn't have one because you really had no idea what anything costs.
Right.
So I figured if I gave you options, you could consider those options, what it would cost, and then come back to me with more of a firm budget of what you were open to spend or able to spend.
Right. So I think that was very well. You did a lot of questioning. The N is never let me feel like a number, and I definitely felt like even when somebody else walked in, I felt like you understood the balance between both people coming in. So that felt really great. And the D is for deliver an exceptional experience with a mindful approach to the business, making sure it's a positive financial return. So you had that in spades in many different parts of this. Well, hello there. Look, there's somebody else over there. We're having a recap right now.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. So one piece of advice that I would give you, though, one piece of feedback is at one point in time when we were talking about the leaves, the press leaves, and you went back over here, and I know to get them. But what you lost in that was the ability you have when you're standing this close to me. Your eyes, your approach, your smile is very warm. And when you were on the other side of the counter, I lost that with you. I lost that connection. If you would have said instead, let me grab something really quickly and let me bring it around to show you, I would have been hooked even more because you have that dynamic personality that makes me want to be near you.
Okay, great.
And what I want you to do is, I'm going to go back here. If you'll go over where I was standing.
Okay.
I want you to do that right now. I'm walking back behind here. These guys, they know that I'm not going to do any work actually back there. But see how far apart I feel?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so even as you're showing me these, and we've got this dynamic, I feel so far away from you.
It does seem really far. I
know.
never really realized that.
And from your perspective, it doesn't, because this is your workspace. This is where you're comfortable.
Right.
But even this, which is really cool, and I love it, got in the way of our connection. So I feel so much farther away from you right now. You felt farther away from me.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep that in mind because
Yeah.
I never really, I don't stand on this side and talk to
Exactly.
somebody. But yeah, that's a good point because it does seem much farther, even from this side than from the other side.
I know, it really does.
Yeah.
And that's a lot because this is your workspace. You're comfortable
Right.
here. So now imagine this. Stay right there. If you would have said, now hold on right now. Hold on for a moment. And would have come back here and said, now take a look at this. I bet you didn't realize that these are really leaves.
Oh,
They are
absolutely.
alive, but they have been
because
soaking
we're
glycerin,
back
whatever.
because we're back in a connected
right.
environment.
It would have kept us, and then I would have gone, oh, well, look at those. Those are really cool. I
Yeah.
want those.
Yeah.
And that's where you could have actually gotten me to say, well, maybe I should commit on this. Okay, I'll tell you what do I need to do? And make a plan. So other than that, I think it was fabulous.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I'm
I've been
glad.
doing this a long time. I've been in retail a very long time. So
The important thing is, though, is there's a lot of people, I think, that then when they have been in something a long time, especially in retail, that there's a sense of, yeah, I got this, or I've done this, or whatever. And it's, instead of really embracing it, I've been in this a long time and I know how to read people and communicate with people
Right.
and really make that your mission.
Right.
And you have that.
well, it's always a new experience. Everyone that walks through the door is different, with
Yep.
a different need and a different want and a different, request to be fulfilled. So you have to identify that. And most people that come through really don't know what they want and need some guidance. And it's not a matter of selling someone. I don't ever sell people. I want to solve your problem. I want to fulfill your need, not sell you something.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is if you have asked the right questions, you will know what I want to buy, when I want to buy, and how I want to buy it. And it's not always now. And
No.
that's fine. As long as you do what you did, you gave me your card. You also said, here's the dates that you need to be mindful of if this is November 10th. So you gave me all the information that I needed. One other thing you could have done is say, if you'd like, I'll give you a follow-up call, but it doesn't always work with everybody. So it's not every situation. You could have gotten away with that with me, but not everybody.
Right. And it's one of those things, because you were so not sure of where you were, I felt that it was pushing an issue where you wouldn't have been ready for that because you really didn't know where you wanted to be. And I find a softer, if you will, a softer sell is very often a more approachable. if I give you information, you will remember that because I tried to help you. I didn't try to sell you. I tried to help you. So I'll give you as much information as you need, so that you can make that decision, or even if you still have more questions, that you would probably feel comfortable in coming back, because I was free with information, not like,
Absolutely. I had a great time with my experience at Cedar Hill Flower and Gifts, and I'm quite confident that these owners and their employees have found and strive to maintain the perfect blend to provide me a great customer experience. I look forward to seeing you next time on Secret Shopper Michael.